Well, hey, y'all. Tina Hurley with Less Leg, More Heart, back again and here with my friends to talk about some topics that are important for you guys to know that, we're out here and we're doing stuff every day, but we have a multifaceted dynamic emotions and feelings and experiences in life. And we also have incredible stories of how certain things that we've happened to do have changed the course of our life. And today we want to talk about how the Amputee Coalition Conference, how being here at this conference in person has made an impact and changed some of our lives. So I'd like to introduce you to the folks that are on the panel today. Go ahead, Glenn.
My name's Glenn Moyer, and
Just where, yeah, you can
yeah,
tell where you're from and maybe what happened.
yeah. So Glenn Moyer, I'm from the northeastern part of Massachusetts, 45 minutes outside of Boston. We measure distances in New England by time, 45 minutes, right? We don't measure them in miles. And so anyway, I've been an amputee now for it'll be coming up on 8 years in a couple months, and the Amputee Coalition was huge for me, even before the venues like this, with the resources of information. And that's really how I found support groups and got through the early hard days. But my first coalition conference was in 2017. I'd had my brand new leg, first leg, for all of about 5 days when we hopped on the airplane and flew out to Kentucky. And it blew my mind. I was all of a sudden, I think that year we had about 800 or 900 amputees present for the sessions, and just to be around so many people doing so well on prosthetics was just a huge boost to my confidence. And I'd say, at that time we had Bob Gailey and a team of assistants that came and ran walking and running clinics. And like I said, I was like, well, by the time the conference started, I think I was 6 or 7 days on my brand new leg. I was still on crutches, partial weight bearing.
What a beautiful moment of opportunity there.
Yeah, was it ever? And so, I went through the conference and I was kind of in and out of my leg a little bit because I was still new and tender. So I was on crutches. If I had the leg on, I was using the crutches just to help partial weight bear and get comfortable. I think our uh, president of our group I'm in, New England Amputee Association, Rose B. Sinet, said, you really should go to the walking clinic even if you just watch it. All right. And so I showed up, and of course, they don't let you watch it. You got to participate. And so I got out there and I kind of set the crutches aside, and Bob Gailey comes out and does the whole, breaks the gait down into, you digestible little chunks. And we practice this, practice this, practice this. You put it all together. And the next thing you know, an hour into the session, I'm walking without the crutches and I'm comfortable. And it was a huge boost. And I actually left the conference with the without the crutches under me, and I actually progressed through that. They said, well, for maybe 4 to 6 weeks, you'll be doing, on for a half hour, off for a couple hours or whatever. I was comfortable coming out of it, and it partially the partial weight bearing and just the experience and the confidence that you can get from those clinics.
Amazing.
Yes, so
Amazing.
and for a first time amputee and to be so fresh, um, just being among your kind is
Yes. Well,
huge.
the learning curve is so significant, right? When you become, I mean, 8 years I'm in and I'm still learning things all the time. So to be so young in your journey as an amputee and be already, immersed in some of these resources and other people that are veterans in the process that understand it. I
Yeah.
mean, the things you probably evaded for poor outcomes because of that interventional moment is
Mhm.
beyond even what you're aware of, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Very.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for
You're welcome.
sharing.
Yes,
All right.
absolutely.
Thanks, Glenn. Hey, I am Susan Phelps, and I am originally from the New England area. So I know exactly what you're talking about with how you measure.
Distance and time.
Yes, yes. But I now identify as a Southerner. I live in Atlanta, just north of the city, and love it here. And so last year at the Amputee Conference, which I did not attend, I learned right away that it was coming to Atlanta. And I was like jumping up and down, excited because I knew I would be here and be excited for my first time. So, for me, what it has meant to me so far for my first time being here, I started the day yesterday, finishing up the peer visitor course that I took to become a certified peer visitor with Amputee Coalition, and that has been a huge boost already, just in connecting with that class and the other people in there, and then making connections with people here in Atlanta, including Rex, that you'll meet in a minute. I am so excited about the prospect of being able to pour into other amputees through the coalition. And so for me, that's huge. And that was one big reason why I wanted to be here. The other thing that I can say right off the bat that feels so good to me about being here is in my day to day, every day where I work and what I'm doing, I'm wearing business clothes. I'm really covered up mostly, like people can't always tell that I have a prosthetic, and sometimes I choose that even because I don't want to be the only person that's walking around looking different with my outward facing disability that
Mm.
everyone can see.
Hmm.
And so being here, it feels so great to be normal, to feel normal, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm like completely, like never going to cover up my leg in this group of amazing people. And that has meant the world to me to have this experience be completely normal and cool actually. So, yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that.
So,
Thank you for
mhm.
sharing. Go ahead, Craig.
Hi, everybody. My name is Craig Foster, and I am a left leg, as you can see, below the knee amputee. I retired from my 30-year job in 2017 due to contracting charcoal on my left foot and wore a crow boot around for a couple of years and ended up having to have my leg amputated in 2019. And I came to the conference, which was my first conference last year, and I was so fortunate to meet Tina and got on board with her organization. And it's so profound that she made the comment in the statement that she made about being able to come here and blend in and feel like part of the group, because even though there's 187 or so, seems like it grows every day, 187,000 individuals in the United States with amputations. A lot of us, we cover ourselves up. We don't like for individuals to know that we're amputees just because of the perception or the reception that we receive from the world sometimes. So when you come here, it really feels good to see other people just like yourself and everyone feels comfortable. And then it takes a little effort to get here and to come here and do the things that we do here. And it's wonderful to see people with that level of due diligence that want to get information and share information and take it back to their community to speak with other amputees. And because we all have questions, because a lot of people do not realize that most of the time, if not all the time, when you leave the hospital and rehab, there's really not a lot of individuals that you come into contact with. So it is really fortunate to come here and be around people that want to go that extra mile to obtain information to be able to take back to their community. And
Mhm.
that is really, really big. There are definitely, as you see here on the couch, some rock stars here, I like to call them on the couch, that want to go that extra mile and get that information for other amputees. And it is definitely a blessing for me to have met Tina and come on board and be able to interact with not just the individuals that you see here on the couch, but other amputees
Craig,
themselves.
as a sidebar, is the beneficiary relations follow up person in our organization. So we have a team of folks, and he has been working with us for a year and touches base with all of the amputees on recurrent bases. But I think also, too, the 187 that he quoted is actually an annual number of
Yes,
amputations.
yes,
And so the total number, I think, is like upwards of almost 6 million of
absolutely.
total limb loss. So there's a lot of us around. More of us need to find each other. And I think this, like you said, is a nice place for us to be able to do that. Thank you for sharing.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I'm going to I'm going to go a little bit further than your nearly six. That number is from insurance rolls alone.
Mm.
So people who have reported claims to insurance companies. So it does not include veterans. It does not include people without insurance.
Wow.
So we know that that number is a lot larger, but we don't have full statistics yet.
Great point.
But I know right now they're giving us a number of close to 6 million.
Wow.
And that
So
includes limb difference as well,
it does include
which
limb
is
difference.
really,
You're
in many
right.
cases, no different than an amputation and a
Yeah,
You're
you're
right.
prosthesis.
right.
Mm-hmm.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And they are part of this community, which I love.
Yeah.
One of the things that to me, the first time that I came to the conference was 6 years ago. I'm at 7.5 years as an amputee. But the first time I came was life changing to me because looking around the room, there weren't just people like me, which was pretty cool. I was used to that from our local peer support group in Atlanta. But in this case, there were people who were from all walks of life with all levels of amputation. In my case, I'm trimembral. I'm missing toes, fingers, and one leg. So one hand. This one is unaffected. But it was so neat to see everyone here in all levels of limb loss, limb difference, activity levels, career levels, everyone just living their very best life and succeeding, which early on I didn't think I would be able to do again. I thought limb loss was the end of my life as I knew it. I didn't really expect to have my life back fully, but I was determined I would do the best I could with the tools I had. And when I got here, I found everyone around was doing just that. They were doing their very
You
best.
found your people.
I found my
Right.
my
Yeah.
tribe,
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And so walking out the door and going back to my group in Atlanta, I felt like life had begun anew.
Mm. Gosh, Phoenix, I'm seeing all this visual imagery happening.
And how appropriate that we're in Atlanta because our icon is a phoenix.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
Well, Atlanta
Wow.
was burned after the Civil War.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Interesting.
we claim the phoenix as our
Love
own.
that. Well, and you're certainly an emblem of that as well.
Couldn't have betrayed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Stacy Sherman, and I also am from the Boston area, probably 50 minutes away. And again, that's how we figure out where we live. I've been an above the knee amputee since 2018. Prior to that, I had had total knee replacement failure 4 times, all due to surgical cement allergy. And so I have not found others who have that allergy. It's very, very rare. My physician, who initially was treating me for total knee, got onto this quickly with me in terms of as soon as we figured it out. And he now goes ahead, and anyone who comes in saying they have red hair and they're allergic to something, he makes them get tested for surgical cement. There's a thread he feels. And he always refers to me why you should do this because you don't want to go through what this person went through.
Right.
In terms of coming to the coalition, I come with the idea that I want to tell people about the surgical cement issue because I think it's really important because it's not being discussed.
Mhm.
What's contributing to? We all know what contributes to getting an amputation, but what we don't know are underlying factors of why that happened.
Mhm.
Sometimes we do. A trauma, a genetic disease, born with, but there are the exceptions, and so I not that I talk about my story because I really don't, but I do because I want people to be aware. I,
Yeah.
I see someone who's a redhead and they're an amputee. I say to them, "Have you ever been tested for surgical cement allergy?" And they're like, "What?" And
Mhm.
then I tell them what had happened to me. The other reason why I enjoy coming, by the way, this is my second coalition event. Um, the other reason why I come is very much like all of you have already said, to be a part of the tribe, the family, the group. You're not standing out. Although I must tell you, this time I am standing out because I have this new new look on my socket that
Gorgeous.
everyone is
Love
saying.
it.
And I've been saying to people now, if I had only charged $1 every time I was spoken to about this, I could have
You
paid
gotta
for
put
the
a donation
conference.
box on the top
Yeah,
and then donate it
exactly.
to
Yeah,
charity, huh?
exactly. Exactly. Which charity I went.
Oh, I wonder.
So, you know, I, I enjoy coming to this to be with the family, if you will. My own personal journey, honestly, initially, my husband was very on board with my doing the amputation. Then my family got involved and not so much. So I was battling this really on my own for many, many, many years. And one reason why I have done what I've done is to basically say to my family, not a nice word. And that's why I keep going.
Mm.
The idea of not stopping is not even part of my vocabulary.
Yep. Love
Not
that. What a
even.
good little
Not even.
highlight note.
The other thing I'm just going to add, and I'll finish because I know we're probably over time, but through this whole journey, and I consider it a journey, my one thing that saved me was my motto, which I'm planning on getting as a tattoo, is "My setbacks are my comebacks." Because I've had a lot of setbacks, 29 surgeries on the left leg, so it's a lot. It's a lot.
What a
So
warrior. Thank you so much
thank
for
you. I
sharing.
don't think I'm a warrior, but you just do it. You have to
Yeah,
just do it. You have no choice. You're not gonna roll up and die.
that's
It's just
right.
not gonna happen. So thank
I
you for
would.
this
Oh my
opportunity.
gosh, I'm so happy to have you guys here. This is like my dream. I would like to invite our media man to come out here and just share what about the conference is life changing for him, and perhaps a little bit about his story. Just he never gets to be in front of the camera, and I think he needs to be able to do it more. Zach Bernstein, the one, the only.
Hello. So I'm Zach Bernstein. I'm the media guy for Listening More Heart. This is my second time of being at the Amputee Coalition. I actually met Tina last year and started volunteering. So I became an amputee almost 2 years ago. Crushed foot. Became diagnosed with CRPS, complex regional pain syndrome, and shattered all bones in my foot. Because of that, also damaged all my arteries as well. And so, because of that, my foot became necrotic and died. And uh, yeah, had the amputation. But also recently, a few months ago, was re-diagnosed with CRPS. So
And his residual limb, which
yeah.
is awful.
So, so mental health has been kind of off and on. But one thing that's been kind of helping me actually is serving. And so, the motto is, rise by helping others. So, yeah,
What about the conference do you like?
the camaraderie. And so, just the community of like, you're not alone. So, yeah.
Thanks for coming in for a
Yeah.
cameo.
Yeah, I know.
Yay! Well, we're going to hope to do these more because there's just so many amazing stories and there's so many incredible topics. And whether you're able-bodied or you're differently abled, there's relevance to the struggle. There's relevance to the types of experiences that we have. And the more that we can recognize our similarities, the less pain we all sort of have and the less borders that we have between each other. So I'm so grateful for you guys for coming today to share a little bit about why the coalition is a special place. And I hope that this encourages more people to try to come to it so they can experience it for themselves. Thanks, guys. See you soon.
Thank you.